If you're like me and spend a lot of time out in dusty environments or find yourself changing lenses very often, you're going to run into an issue with dust on your camera sensor. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to avoid sensor damage by cleaning it the correct way with the correct tools. Stick around until later in the video where I'll share some vital tips you should follow to minimize the ingress of dust onto your camera sensor. Sensor dust is an absolute pain, especially if you're taking hundreds of photos or shooting video. Dust appears as small spots on your image, and the dirtier the sensor, the worse the effect. Fortunately, cleaning the camera sensor is easy, and I highly recommend you learn how to do it. You can of course send your camera to the manufacturer to get cleaned, but this is not always practical. Before we start, just a word of caution. Be very careful when cleaning the camera sensor. Exercise caution and only clean the sensor when you have to. Technically speaking though, you're not cleaning the actual camera sensor, but the protective filters in front of it. The first part of cleaning the camera sensor is to determine whether it's dirty or not. If you're noticing dust spots on your photographs, it's time for a clean. If you're unsure, then there is an easy way to find out. Take your camera and put on a lens with a relatively wide focal length of around 24 to 30 millimeters and set the camera to a narrow aperture like f/22 with an ISO of 100. Point the camera at a plain white wall or bright white computer screen. Get close and render the wall or screen as out of focus as possible. Setting the focus to infinity will work. Adjust your shutter speed so that the exposure is bright but not blown out. You also want the longest shutter speed possible. Turn image stabilization off. Take the photo but move the camera while you do, keeping it pointed at the wall or screen. The idea here is to take a photo without any detail, which will only allow the sensor dust to be visible. Import the photograph into Lightroom or your photo editing application of choice, ramp up the clarity and contrast, and the sensor dust will become visible. If you see nothing, then the sensor is clean. But if you see spots, it's time for a clean. Repeat this check after you have cleaned the sensor to make sure it's spotless before completing your cleaning session. You won't notice sensor dust when shooting at very wide apertures like f1.8, but as you stop down to more narrower apertures like f16 or f22, the dust will become more visible. So we have a dirty sensor. What equipment do we need to safely clean it? I use cleaning gear made by a brand called K&F Concept and have done for a while. They are not sponsoring this video or paying me any money to say good things about them, but they were kind enough to send me some updated products to check out. To clean your sensor, you'll essentially need a sensor swab, cleaning solution, and an air blower. There are a number of different products out there, but here is what I use. The foundation of my cleaning kit is the K&F Concept Sensor Cleaning Swab Kit. This includes the sensor swabs and the cleaning solution. I've recently added the versatile Switch cleaning pen, which has a very clever design, incorporating a cleaning pen, cleaning brush, and the ability to install smaller sensor swabs onto it. This is what I take when traveling light. I then use a general cleaning kit, which includes the all-important air blower, lens cleaning solution, microfiber cloths, and a cleaning pen. I use this kit to clean my lenses. When buying sensor swabs, make sure to buy the correct size for your particular camera sensor. I use the full frame swabs. So we have a dirty sensor, the correct cleaning kit. How do we clean the sensor? The first step is to clean the camera of any excess dust. Get into the hard to reach corners of that camera and lens cap and give it a good clean. Using a brush will do the trick. You don't want any dust getting into the camera body when you take the lens cap off or put it back on. Cleaning your lenses is also a good idea. Use the air blower to blow away any dust from the lens element and then spray a small amount of lens cleaning solution onto a microfiber cloth and wipe off any smudges or dirt from the lens. Don't spray the cleaning solution directly onto the lens. Use the cleaning pen for removal of stubborn dirt or fingerprints. The second step is to attempt to blow away some of the dust off the sensor. Here you will need an air blower. Never blow onto the sensor with your mouth and never use compressed air. Point your camera towards the floor. Make sure you're in a dust-free environment and take the lens cap off and expose the sensor. On some mirrorless cameras like my Nikon Z6, the sensor will already be exposed. But on some cameras, you will need to access the camera menu to use the camera cleaning function to expose the sensor, and on DSLRs, flip away the mirror. Consult your camera manual on how to do this. With the exposed sensor facing down, take the air blower and blow air onto the sensor. Get close, but keep enough space between the air blower and sensor to avoid any damage. Give the air blower 5 to 10 good squeezes to dislodge some of the dust. Once complete, put the lens cap back on the camera and stop the sensor cleaning function if engaged. engaged. If your camera has an auto cleaning function, now would be a good time to try that. Consult your camera manual for information on how to use this feature. The auto cleaning function essentially vibrates the sensor to dislodge dust, but results have been varied in my experience. The most effective way to clean your camera sensor and the final step in the cleaning process is to use a sensor swab and sensor cleaning solution. This is also the most delicate part of the cleaning process, and extra care must be taken during this step. To start the swab cleaning process, make sure you're in a dust-free environment, then expose the camera sensor as mentioned in step 2. Switch off any image stabilization in your camera if your camera needs to be on to expose the sensor during the cleaning process. Make sure the camera battery is full as well. You don't want the shutter mechanism or mirror to close on you while you are cleaning. Remove the sensor swab from the packaging, making sure to not touch the edge, and apply 2 drops of solution to the tip of the sensor swab. You want to cover the full edge of the swab, making sure not to oversaturate it, so space the droplets evenly. Begin cleaning the sensor by placing the swab on the left edge of the sensor and tilt the swab towards the right edge. Apply very light pressure and slowly move across the sensor until you reach the right edge. Tilt the swab the other way and make a second pass over the sensor with very light pressure. This should remove all the dust. If you've oversaturated the swab, you may see light streaking on the sensor and another clean will be needed. Wait a couple minutes before the next clean and apply less solution to the swab. These swabs are not reusable, so if you need to clean the sensor again, use a new swab and discard the used one. Repeat the cleaning process again if dust is still visible. If there is stubborn dust or oil that you cannot remove after 2 to 3 tries, rather send your camera in to the manufacturer for a service and clean. If you're finding value in this content, please hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel for more. As mentioned earlier in the video, here are 4 tips you can use to minimize the ingress of dust onto your camera sensor. When changing lenses, make sure your camera is pointing downwards. Gravity should eliminate at least some chance of dust getting onto the sensor. Try keep the lens permanently attached to a camera if possible. This will require that you have multiple cameras for multiple lenses, but it will be the best way to eliminate the ingress of dust. Avoid changing lenses in dusty or windy environments as much as possible. Rather go indoors or get into a car to change the lens. Try keep your camera, lenses and camera bags dust-free as much as possible. I frequently use a small brush to clean off any dust from my equipment. You now know how to clean your sensor, so watch this video next and get out into dusty environments using these 7 simple tips for better wildlife photography.